The waves of the Atlantic Ocean do come from all over the world. I'm Bernd from Germany. We are in Portugal, and today I'm presenting to you a new car from a Chinese electric vehicle brand. This is the all-new Aiways U6, and I hope you join me in my review here at Asia Auto Ambassador. If you have never heard of Aiways, that shouldn't be a problem. The company is quite new, was founded back in 2017 in China only, and in 2020 they started sales of their first model that was the electric, or is the electric mid-sized SUV, the U5, and they are selling the car of course in China and then in some European markets like Germany, Spain, Italy and also in Israel. And now there's a second model finally ready to hit the market. That's the U6 that was already announced for quite a long time, but of course we had the pandemic situation, factory closures and then the chip shortage, but now the U6 is here. It's based on the same MAS called platform as the U5, but is the more dynamic looking brother. You see different bumpers at the front and the rear with some aerodynamic flaps here. It looks like carbon, but still it's plastics with a carbon texture. We've got 20-inch wheels. The length of the car has been increased by 13 centimeters up to a bit more than 4 meters and 80 centimeters due to the different bumpers. The wheelbase of 2.80 meters is exactly the same, and the car is less high than the U5, and that also makes the appearance more dynamic, more sporty, more aggressive. There are also some technical changes compared to the U5, and these give a hint to an upcoming facelift or update of the U5. The electric motor is more powerful, 160 kilowatts or 218 horsepower is the maximum power output. The car is still front wheel driven, and the engine now has been developed in-house and is produced in-house by Aiways. It's not a supplier product. The charging port location has changed. Now it's here above the left front wheel. We've got 90 kilowatts of maximum charging power via CCS, and 11 kilowatts is also possible. The new location of the charging port is quite more comfortable, also for a heavy cable at the hypercharger, because in the past it was under the, or at the U5 it's under the front light, and here it's a bit more comfortable. You see a different roof line, of course the SUV-Coupé style, and also at the rear we've got a new bumper and a black spoiler. There's no rear wiper. Today we are in sunny Portugal and enjoy good weather. Not sure if the window keeps dry also at bad weather, rainy weather. We have to test that later on when we have the car for a test drive, for example in Germany, or under bad weather conditions. The boot capacity measures 472 liters. This is a little bit less compared to the U5 ones, which is 500 liters. We've got a removable floor, so there's an additional storage compartment underneath for charging cables and stuff you need. And you see fabric material also here at the side, so that means there's no plastic that can easily be scratched. And we've got little hooks for shopping bags, for example. You can extend the boot capacity by folding down the backrest of the rear bench. However, I have to open the door to do that, and then you can increase the size to up to 1,260 liters. Of course, the height of the boot is a little bit limited compared to the U5 because of the SUV-Coupé roofline. Let's see what the interior how it looks like and what kind of seating comfort and seating space I will find there. Interesting color combination at our test car. We've got a green body color combined with a blue, white, red interior. This is standard with every U6. It looks fresher and more sportive than the interior of the U5. We've got a mixture of artificial leather and real leather on the seats. And also the texture is a bit different of the different materials. It's all well done, looks nice, feels nice, and I've got plenty of room. My height is 1.92 meters, which is 6 feet 3 inches. And there's plenty of leg room. There's a comfortable seating position, and also the headroom is good enough for people of my size, even under the SUV-Coupé roofline, because of the glass roof. It's not a removable glass roof, but a fixed glass roof. That means it's less thick than metal, brings enough headroom. And then we have of course air vents here. We've got a USB type A and USB-C power outlets, a storage compartment, and also storage compartments at the back side of the backrests of the front seats. So all quite nice here, but now we move into the first row. Let's have a check. The front seats are quite comfortable. They've got integrated headrests. They're still high enough also for people of my size. And there's an armrest here and a new center console. And here, that's the shifter for the gear. Looks quite sportive, but yeah, it's, as I said, just the R&D and park position shifter. What's new at Aiways is a glove box. The U5 doesn't have one, but that comes now with the U6. The cockpit is quite different than the one in the U5. We see a steering wheel with physical buttons instead of virtual touch buttons, and a small display behind the steering wheel for all the driving relevant information, such as the current speed and the state of charge of the battery and the range. The U5, just to remind you, has 3 displays here behind the steering wheel. Also brand new is a 14.6 inches infotainment display. The left side of the display is always fixed for driving assistance. For example, when you drive on the motorway, you can activate the adaptive cruise control, and there's an assistant lane change system also available. And then we have got a trip computer here and other vehicle related information. On the larger right side, workspace it's called, here you see the home menu. In the future, Aiways told us you will also have the chance to rearrange all these icons. There is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto on board. However, Apple CarPlay only works via cable connection, and Android Auto also works wirelessly. The smartphone itself can be charged wirelessly here, and then we've got 2 USB chargers as well here in the center console. Coming back to the display, you can access menus here, for example, the electric vehicle menu, the battery monitor with the current state of charge. You can open the charging port from the inside, and you can start battery heating to maximize the fast charging power. And there's no in-vehicle sat-nav, but there's an app that works in some countries. And if you use this app for your route planning, then you can also integrate the charging point and then battery heating just before arriving at the fast charger. There's a 360 degrees camera system, and then you can adjust different vehicle settings here. You can even open, for example, and close all windows. Here via the touchscreen you can lock and unlock the vehicle. You can change the ambient light in different modes and customized color schemes. You can turn on and off the vehicle. And coming to settings, you can use Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. You can adjust the steering wheel control. Sometimes the touchscreen is not that reactive, as you can see. And going to vehicle settings, here you've got the opportunity to adjust the ADAS systems, like the, as I just mentioned, the lane change assistant, for example, and so on. There are different drive modes, normal, EcoSport, and one pedal drive, and a customized mode where you can configure it for yourself. And then on the seat settings, you can adjust your seating position. And once you have the right seating position, that can be done here or via physical buttons at the seat, you can then say, okay, this is my driving position, and then there's a resting position, a sleep position, for example, when you charge the car, and a backup position also available. And you can also activate the easy entry and exit. That means the seat moves a little bit backwards when you step out and step in to the car. So this is all be done via this touchscreen, and of course there's audio like radio, Bluetooth, and you can, as mentioned, use your smartphone like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The air conditioner is also adjustable via the touchscreen. Then you can change all the temperatures here and the different directions for the air, and turn on and turn off the air conditioning. That all works well when the car is stationary. However, while driving, some of these icons are still quite small, and that means that you have to look to the touchscreen for a longer time than you should do while driving, because of course you have to pay attention to the traffic and to the direction where you drive to. And this is what we are doing now. Let's start our test drive. The suspension of the U6 is a bit stiffer than the one in the U5. That should make the car feel a bit more dynamic, more sportive. However, on bumpy roads it's not that comfortable, and also the steering is not ideal in my opinion. It misses a bit of feedback, especially in fast corners and curves. I would like to have more feedback from the steering wheel. The electric motor itself is powerful enough, 160 kilowatts of maximum power and 350 Newton meters of torque mean that you can accelerate quite quickly, and the 0 to 100 kilometers per hour acceleration is done in 6.9 seconds. That means that the U6 is round about 1 second quicker than the U5. Both have a limited top speed of 160 kilometers per hour. Talking about the energy consumption, we cannot really tell today. We have the car for one day for our test drives, but when we look at 77% state of charge and 300 kilometers of range currently, and we have the trip computer here, our energy consumption of 19.1 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometer. That means that you could achieve a range of like 370 kilometers maybe when you use the car as your daily driver. The WLTP range is 400 kilometers. So the conclusion about the driving, the steering should be adjusted, and the chassis is more stiff, more sportive than the one in the U5. However, I would still like to have a little bit more riding comfort in the car. The rest is quite okay. Also the finish and the look is quite nice. We want to try out the pedal drive mode. That means now we have the maximum of energy recuperation, so the car decelerates. However, it does not come to a full stop. At about 15 kilometers per hour, you still have to push the brake pedal yourself, and then the car comes to a full stop. In Germany, the Aiways U6 costs 47,590 euros. That makes it around about 2,000 euros more expensive than the U5. For that additional money, you get the different body style, 20-inch rims, a bit stiffer suspension. You should test this, of course. And the big advantage of the U6 is the more modern cockpit, the more modern infotainment system with a larger screen, new infotainment software. And if I would be interested in the U5, I would definitely wait for a potential update in the near future where the U5 will get this infotainment facelift as well. And yeah, with the U6 you have the 160 kilowatts instead of 150, and I guess if and when the U5 will get the facelift, it will also get the in-house developed new electric motor. This was my first impression, my first test drive of the Aiways U6. I hope you liked the video. I very much look forward to your comments. I will read them all and reply to most of them. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing to this channel. This will definitely help us in growing further. Thanks to Matthias, the guy behind the camera, and see you next time at Asia Auto Ambassador. Bye bye.